How to learn faster.
Why do some people learn things like a rocket while you feel like you're climbing stairs? You must have met people like this. They pick up new things as if it's a game. While others are still struggling with the basics, they're already able to put them into practice. Switching to a new field, they still thrive, as if they're gifted with extraordinary talent. Looking back at yourself, you clearly stay up late, take lots of notes, yet end up either giving up halfway or forgetting everything after learning, always a step behind others. It's not because you're stupid, nor because others have higher IQs. The key is that they've mastered a cheat-level learning method, not just grinding away at time, but using a feedback acceleration loop. Today, let's break down this method thoroughly so that no matter what you're learning, you can avoid detours and get ahead. What is a feedback acceleration loop? Simply put, it's making mistakes while correcting them and getting faster as you correct. Many people think learning fast equals being smart plus working hard, but that's totally wrong. Truly efficient learning isn't about charging forward blindly. It's about taking a step, looking back, and adjusting. It's like playing a game. You don't just keep fighting monsters without a thought. You always check if your health is enough, if your skills are used correctly, and switch tactics if you can't win. That's the most basic feedback loop. Specifically, the feedback acceleration loop has 3 steps. Dare to make mistakes. Don't wait until you're ready. Just start doing it, even if it's bad. Seek feedback immediately. After finishing, check the results right away. Where did you go wrong? Where are you stuck? Ask experts, check data, look at reviews, and root out the problems. Correct quickly. Fix the problem the same day. No procrastination, no self-comfort. Try a new method next time. Take cooking as an example. Some people memorize recipe steps by heart. If they burn the dish the first time, they blame the recipe. But those who understand feedback will cook a dish first, even if it's too salty or overcooked, and immediately note, too much salt or heat too high. Next time, they use less salt and lower the heat. In no time, they can cook a decent meal. What makes this method powerful? It turns learning into a rapidly iterating experiment. It's like editing a photo. You don't add 10 filters at once and then check the effect. You add 1, take a look, and adjust immediately if it's not right. Every adjustment is progress, and when accumulated, you'll move forward at full speed. Why do you learn slowly? It's not because you're not working hard enough. It's because you've stepped into these 5 traps. You clearly want to improve, but just can't speed up? Chances are you've fallen into a slow learning trap. Let's check these 5 traps. How many have you stepped into? First trap, thinking grinding time equals working hard, but actually going in circles. Some people learn English by memorizing 100 words a day and copying 10 model essays, staying up late thinking they're working hard. But after 3 months, they still can't speak or write. Why? Because they never test themselves. Can they use the words they've memorized? Can they write an essay on their own after copying models? It's like running with your eyes blindfolded. No matter how long you run, you might just be going in circles. Second trap, fearing embarrassment and not daring to let others see your half-finished work. New video editors always think, I'll post it when I edit it perfectly, but end up forever preparing. People learning programming hide the few lines of code they've written, afraid that experts will laugh at how bad it is. But the truth is, the more you fear embarrassment, the harder it is to find problems. It's like getting dressed without looking in a mirror. You'll never know where it doesn't fit. Third trap, mulling things over alone, refusing external feedback. Some people make self-media content, writing articles only to read themselves, thinking, I think it's good, never reading reader comments or consulting peers. What happens? The valuable content you think is good might be completely incomprehensible to readers. It's like shooting arrows with your eyes closed. How can you hit the target if you don't look at it? Fourth trap, perfectionism holding you back. Preparing turns into procrastinating. Wait until I buy all the painting tools before starting. Wait until I finish the grammar book before speaking English. Such thoughts seem reasonable, but they're actually a form of escape. Learning is like learning to ride a bike. You can't memorize bike riding principles first before getting on the bike. You have to fall a few times to learn. Fifth trap, being inconsistent, breaking the feedback loop. Some people work out until their muscles ache on the first day, then give up the next. Others learn about finance, find two lessons complicated, and throw it aside. The core of the feedback loop is continuous iteration. It's like boiling water. If you stop when it's 80 degrees, you'll have to start over when you boil again, and it'll never reach a boil. These 5 traps essentially boil down to avoiding feedback, either not checking results, refusing others to point out problems, or not starting at all. Without feedback, it's like a boat without a compass. No matter how you go, you're just drifting aimlessly. How great is it when you actually use it? Look at these 2 real cases. Ordinary people can also turn things around. Don't think this method is too abstract. It has long been proven by countless people. Whether it's learning skills, doing projects, or even starting a side hustle, using it correctly can lead to rapid breakthroughs. Case 1. I used the feedback loop to grow from 0 to 30,000 followers in 3 months with my self-media. 3 years ago, when I first started a growth-focused self-media account, I was a complete novice. I couldn't write viral titles, didn't know how to format posts, and editing videos confused me. The early articles I posted only got a few hundred views, and the comment section was full of "can't understand" and "too boring." At the time, I also doubted myself, am I not suited for this? But soon I realized that working behind closed doors was useless. So I set 3 rules, forcing myself to use the feedback loop. Every piece of content must be criticized by experts. After writing an article, I'd send it to 3 friends who do self-media, asking them to criticize it as harshly as possible. For example, someone said, "Your title is like an instruction manual." Who would click on it? I rewrote the title the same day, changing "How to Improve Focus" to 3 methods to stop feeling anxious when scrolling your phone, and the readership immediately doubled. Review data when it drops and change methods the same day. The day after posting, I definitely check the read-through rate, whether readers finish the article, and like-to-comment ratio, whether the content makes people want to speak up. If the read-through rate was low, it meant the opening is too rambling, so next time I'd start directly with "Do you also have this trouble?" If there were few comments, I'd intentionally leave a question at the end. Which method have you tried? Tell me in the comments. Check all reader feedback within 24 hours. Even if there was only 1 negative comment, I'd correct it seriously. If someone said the examples are outdated, I'd replace them with recent hot events. If someone said the formatting is messy, I'd spend an hour learning formatting skills and use clearer paragraphs next time. Bit by bit, the 10th article got 5 times more views than the first. After 3 months, followers grew from 0 to 30,000, and the most popular article was shared over 10,000 times. It wasn't all smooth sailing. Once, views dropped for 2 weeks in a row. Instead of complaining about the platform's algorithm, I asked 5 top bloggers for advice and found that the topic angle was too cliched. I rewrote it with a new angle that night, and the next day's readership tripled. Case 2. Learning programming from scratch, going from "can't understand code" to getting freelance work in 3 months. A friend of mine, who had 0 foundation in programming, started by poring over tutorials, studying 8 hours a day. After a month, he still couldn't write a simple program. Later, I taught him to use the feedback loop, and he changed his approach. Write 50 lines of code every day and immediately post them on forums for review. No matter how bad the code was, he'd post it on programmer forums, tag experts, and ask, "Is this wrong? Is there a simpler way to write it?" Some people scolded him, "This logic is stupid," but he didn't get angry. Instead, he noted, "It turns out loops can simplify the steps." Actively seek difficult problems to expose weaknesses. While others start programming with "Hello World," he directly challenged writing a program to automatically organize files. In the process, he found that he didn't know how to use path functions and didn't know how to handle errors, so he targeted those knowledge gaps. His efficiency was 10 times higher than mindlessly doing exercises. Force himself to show a half-finished product to clients every week. He took a small job on a freelance platform and showed clients his progress every week. Even if the functions weren't finished, he'd say, "This is how far I've gotten. What do you think needs to be changed?" The client's demands became his best learning guide. What happened? 3 months later, he not only could independently develop small projects, but also took 2 freelance jobs and earned his first programming fee. Meanwhile, those who started with him, buried in tutorials, still said, "I'm not ready to take jobs after 6 months." Want to master the feedback acceleration loop? Remember these 3 keys. Ordinary people can use it right away. Don't think this method is only for geniuses. Ordinary people can use it immediately as long as they grasp the core. These 3 key points must be remembered. First, turn fear of mistakes into actively seeking mistakes. Psychology has a term called defensive avoidance, which means people are naturally afraid of being denied, and when they make mistakes, they instinctively make excuses. Not in good shape today, this question is too hard. But people who learn quickly intentionally do the opposite. They actively expose their shortcomings. How? When learning to give speeches, first practice in front of family. Even if you're so nervous that you forget your lines, ask them, "Where didn't you understand? Where was I too wordy?" When learning design, post sketches on social media right after drawing them and ask, "Is this color too harsh?" The more mistakes you expose, the more corrections you'll get, and the faster you'll progress. It's like a doctor seeing a patient. The earlier the lesion is found, the easier it is to cure. Second, feedback must be fast. Don't wait for later. The golden time for feedback is within 24 hours. For example, after an exam, correct mistakes against the answer key the same day. Don't wait for organizing on the weekend. When communicating with others, if they say, "I didn't understand what you said," immediately ask, "What part didn't you understand?" Let me rephrase. Why fast? Because right after doing something, your memory is fresh and you remember clearly where things went wrong. The longer you delay, the blurrier the details, and the correction effect is halved. Third, use small steps to keep the loop unbroken. Don't think about eating an elephant in one bite. Making a little progress every day is 100 times better than studying 10 hours a day and then stopping for 3 days. For example, when learning to write, you don't need to write a complete article every day. Write an opening paragraph, post it, and ask friends, "Does this make you want to read more?" When learning to play the guitar, you don't need to practice a whole song every day. Learn one chord, record it, and listen to, is the pitch correct? Small steps are easy to stick to, keeping the feedback loop unbroken. Over time, it will produce a compound effect like a snowball, small at first, but growing bigger and bigger. My view, the feedback acceleration loop is not a shortcut, but the steadiest path. Some might think, is this method too utilitarian? Shouldn't learning be slow? But I want to say, slow and steady are 2 different things. True steadiness means every step is in the right direction, while blind slowness may just be repeating mistakes. It's like digging a well. If you dig 10 meters and find no water and keep digging 20 meters in the same place, there will still be no water. That's not persistence, but a waste of time. The role of the feedback loop is to let you know if there's water here after digging 1 meter so you can move in time. Moreover, this method can help you avoid learning anxiety. Many people feel anxious when learning because they don't know how well they're learning or when they'll master it. The feedback loop will give you clear progress signals, remembering 1 more knowledge point today than yesterday, making 1 fewer mistake this time than last time. These small signals will make you more confident as you learn. More importantly, it can cultivate your growth mindset. You'll realize making mistakes is not denying yourself, but an opportunity to progress. Others' criticism is not targeting you, but a tool to help you correct mistakes. When you no longer fear making mistakes, learning will become an easy thing. Finally, to get ahead, start with a small experiment today. Don't wait for tomorrow to start. Try the feedback loop now. No matter what you're learning, you can. Do a minimal attempt like writing 3 lines of code, drawing a sketch, or saying 1 English sentence. Find someone, a friend, teacher, or netizen, to give you opinions. Change a little based on the opinions and try again. It's that simple. Remember, people who learn fast are not born smart. They know how to use feedback as a navigation system. They are not afraid of taking detours because every detour helps them adjust their direction. You don't need to compare talent with others. You just need to correct mistakes faster than others. You don't need to grind time. You just need to make every minute solve problems. From today on, be a rapidly iterating learner, not afraid of making mistakes, actively seeking feedback, and correcting immediately. Before long, you'll find, it turns out you can also learn things this fast. The next person who makes others exclaim, "learn so fast," will be you.